Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. This is Friday, February the 28th, and we're here to preview the NASCAR Cup Series at Circuit of the Americas. So I am Sharon, Fan for Racing, and joining me today is Jay Huseman. Welcome to the show, Jay.
Thank you, Sharon. I know you wanted to say March. We're not quite there, but really darn close, right? And everything we're talking about racing is over this weekend, the first weekend of March.
Yes, indeed. And we've got a lot to talk about for the NASCAR Cup Series. They will be racing this weekend, and it is going to be the EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas. It's a 2.4-mile asphalt road course. Love those road courses. And it will be Sunday, March the 2nd at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, Fox will carry the coverage this weekend starting at 2:30 for the pre-race coverage. You'll also have coverage on the radio at PRN and SiriusXM NASCAR Radio 90. They'll race a distance of 228 miles over 95 laps. Stage 1 is 20 laps. Stage 2 is 25 laps. That will end on lap 45. And the final stage is 95 and is 50 laps in total. So we've got a lot to cover here for some of the insights for Circuit of the Americas and the Cup Series, Jay.
Well, it's not a very old track, but they are making a change. So for the first time, the NASCAR Cup Series is going to run the shorter 2.40-mile track configuration there at Circuit of the Americas. The previous 4 Cup races from 2021 to 2024 were competed on the longer configuration at 3.41 miles.
Okay, and since joining the Cup Series in 2021, which I was very happy about, this is the earliest the COTA will run in a season. So normally it's a little bit later in the season, so beginning of March as opposed to probably later.
Hopefully the weather will hold out for that. I think it's got a good good forecast for the weekend, but they'll work through it no matter what. One team, manufacturer-wise anyway, has worked through everything. Chevrolet has won the pole for 4 of the last 5 road courses, Toyota winning 1 pole in 4 of the prior 5.
Chevrolet has also won 6 of the last 7 road course races. Hendrick Motorsports won 5 of those 6.
Now, 3 drivers that have won poles at COTA is William Byron. He won the pole for the last 2 in 2023 and 2024. And then it was Tyler Reddick in 2022 and Ryan Blaney in 2021.
Now, only one driver has won his first career pole in the NASCAR Cup Series at COTA, and that was Tyler Reddick on May 23rd of 21.
The race winner at COTA, we talked about this a little bit from the Xfinity side, started on the front row in the last 2 COTA races. The deepest in the field of race winner has started is 16th, and that was Ross Chastain in 2022.
In the 15 of the 17 road course races with the next gen race car, the race winner has started in the top 8.
All right, now 16 active race winners. Chase Elliott currently at the top of the list with 7 wins, having picked up 2 at Watkins Glen, 2 at Charlotte, and 1 at COTA, 1 at Daytona, and then 1 at Road America. Kyle Larson has 6, 2 at Watkins Glen, 2 at Sonoma, and 2 at Charlotte. Kyle Busch is at 4 with 2 at Watkins Glen and 2 at Sonoma. And remember, there for a long time, those were the only 2 road course tracks on the schedule. AJ Allmendinger, his are spread out. You got the Watkins Glen win, a Charlotte win, and an Indy win for his 3. Tyler Reddick also with 3, Indy, and then Road America. There you still got 2 that have double wins, and that's Christopher Bell and William Byron. Bell's at Charlotte and Daytona. William Byron has the one here at Watkins Glen and COTA. Let's see, who do we got in the single digits? Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Daniel Suarez, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Ross Chastain, Michael McDowell, as well as Shane Van Gisbergen. And yeah, I'd have to go back and forth to try and hit the tracks they had theirs at.
Ross Chastain and Alex Bowman and Tyler Reddick are the only drivers to finish inside the top 10 in all 4 COTA races. No one has finished in top 5 in all 4.
All right, looking at a little bit of history, NASCAR Hall of Famer Jeff Gordon leads the NASCAR Cup Series in road course wins. He has a total of 9 victories at 2 different tracks. Again, he retired before they got these new tracks on the schedule. So he's got 5 wins at Sonoma and 4 at Watkins Glen.
Wow, that's great. Now, NASCAR Hall of Famer Tony Stewart has the second most road course wins all time in the Cup Series with 8 victories at 2 tracks. Watkins Glen, he has 5 wins, and at Sonoma, he has 3.
Next is Chase Elliott with the 7 road course wins, which is 3rd all time. Now, he's won at 5 different NASCAR Cup Series road course tracks: the Charlotte Roval, COTA, Daytona Road Course, Road American, Watkins Glen, which is the most all time.
Now, Chase Elliott's 7 road course wins ranks 3rd all time and leads all active drivers, but is the only Hendrick Motorsports driver without a road course win in the next-gen car. NASCAR Hall of Famer Bobby Allison holds the NASCAR Cup Series record for the most wins in a single road course track with 6 victories at Riverside International Raceway. Those came in 71, 73, 75, 79, and he had a sweep in 81.
Now, Kyle Larson during the 2021 season became the first driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to win at 3 road course tracks in a single season: Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and the Charlotte Roval. Larson does have a total of 6 road course wins.
Now, 4 of the last 5 first-time winners in the Cup Series were on road courses. That's kind of interesting.
I'm thinking maybe we see another one this weekend, but that's a tough list to look at. Christopher Bell's 4 races at COTA. He's got 2 top 3s and 2 finishes in the 30s. So hit or miss for Christopher Bell coming off that Atlanta win.
Let's go back to Hendrick Motorsports. They've won 5 of the last 11 road course races and are the only organization with multiple wins during that span. So I'd say the Hendrick cars are cars to watch this weekend.
Well, and I know we talked about this of starting out good on the season. Only 2 drivers have finished in the top 10 in both races this season: John Hunter Nemechek from Legacy Motorsports and Ryan Blaney from Team Penske. So that's a short list.
It is a very short list. Now, tracking Chase Briscoe's playoff deficit, remember he got that penalty. He's currently 38th in the points and 98 points behind 16th and 138 points behind the points leader. So Chase Briscoe has a little bit of a hole to climb out of because of that penalty. But we are going to track that throughout the season because I'm sure he's up to the challenge.
Yeah, if he picks up a victory, the tracker will be over because he will make the playoffs then.
Yes, indeed.
Now, the driver who led the most laps did not win either of the first 2 races this year, and that's for the 5th consecutive season. That's the longest such streak in series history. That's interesting.
Yeah, we've got a lot of interesting stats here. Now, Team Penske led 255 laps so far in 2025. That's the 5th most laps led by a team through the first 2 races of the season without a win. So even though you lead the most laps, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win the race.
Well, and I've said this on our 2 review shows from the races: for dominance, the drivers have led 4 drivers have led 337 of the 467 laps raced in 2025, but have the fewest wins at 0, the fewest top 5s at only 1, as well as the fewest top 10s at 4. And that's out of all the manufacturers. They're dominant during the race. They just aren't getting the finishing results.
That's the unfortunate part of this. Now, Ford has led 337 laps so far this season. That's 72% of the laps, the third most ever by a manufacturer in the first two races without a win. So I'm kind of sad to hear that stat, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true. Now, looking at a little positive side, we got Michael McDowell. He's the only driver not involved in an incident during the first two races of the 2025 season. Again, those super speedway style races create a lot of havoc, but Michael McDowell surviving through it.
Now, the 4 NASCAR Cup Series races from 21 to 24 at Circuit of the Americas have produced 4 different race winners. Chase Elliott in 21, Ross Chastain in 22, Tyler Reddick in 23, and William Byron in 24. I'd say all 4 of those drivers are drivers to watch this weekend.
I think we got a field of 20 to 30 some cars we're going to have to watch this weekend.
True.
Now, Ross Chastain at that victory in 2022, he's the only driver to get his first career NASCAR Cup Series win at the Circuit of the Americas.
In last year's COTA race had the fewest cautions of any road course race course in 24, and there were 2.
Another interesting thing to look at here, we talk about how you run through the race. No stage winner has gone on to win a road course in 2024.
Another interesting stat there. The driver leading the most laps won all 3 COTA races with the next-gen car from 22 to 24. We'll see if that happens again in 25.
2 drivers, Cody Ware and Josh Berry, they're the only drivers who failed to finish both races in 2025. So talked about Michael McDowell not having the DNF. We got 2, unfortunately, that haven't finished a race yet.
Austin Cindric scored the most stage points in 2025 so far. He's got 30, and that includes the duel.
And the other side of that, Joey Logano, he's the only driver who scored stage points in all 4 stages so far here in 2025. Both of those Team Penske Fords. Again, they're running up front.
And in 2025 is the first season ever to start with the last lap passes in the first 2 races of the season. And both races definitely had that last minute pass, not just last lap, but last minute pass in order to get that win.
Most certainly. Now, a total of 105 lead changes in 2025. That's the most ever through 2 races into a season.
And Hendricks Motorsports has won the last one road course in each of the last 7 years. That's the longest streak ever by a team. So again, I think Hendrick Motorsports is the team to watch.
Well, certainly do have all of their drivers quite capable. We've talked about Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and William Byron at different points throughout all these statistics. So we see that they got a strong lineup there at HMS. They
do. And just so everybody knows, I do have available over at bamforracing.com. I have available the times for all of the practice sessions and everything. But just so you know, this is the updated practice and qualifying procedure for the weekend. There will be 2 practice sessions run with 2 groups. Each group gets 20 minutes per session. And for qualifying, they'll run with 2 groups. Each group gets 20 minutes. Times are blended back together after both groups are completed, and the field is set from the fastest to the slowest. So that's the process for this weekend for practice and qualifying. But the times for everything are up over at bamforracing.com. Now, we've got a driver that's doing his debut. We did this in the Xfinity Series. I want to do it in the Cup Series as well, Jay, because Connor Zilic is making his debut in the Cup Series, but he also is racing in the Xfinity Series this weekend and could be a breakout weekend for him.
All right, so I'll go through and run through his bio this time. He's 18 years old from Mooresville, North Carolina. Going to be making his NASCAR Cup Series career debut this weekend at COTA. He'll be in the number 87 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet. He's going to have veteran crew chief Darian Grubb with him. And just to add a quick side note, this isn't just about his bio, but he's the only open team. There'll be 37 teams for the 40 spots. He is the only open team, so he will qualify. Now, he won his NASCAR Xfinity Series debut at Watkins Glen last September after starting on the pole and leading the most laps. You look at his ARCA Menard Series, he won 5 out of 9 ARCA Menard Series starts and finished runner-up in the other 2, which included Watkins Glen last year in his series debut. He won the pole in his NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series debut at COTA in 2024. He's got IMSA class wins in the 24 Hours of Daytona, as well as the 12 Hours of Sebring in 2024, as well as then signed that Trackhouse Racing Development driver contract. And that's where he's at now. He's running full-time in the Xfinity Series this year, 2025, with Junior Motorsports as a lone driver. Again, he's signed under Trackhouse, and that's who's fielding the team for the Cup Series debut this weekend. But the Xfinity Series, it's with Junior Motorsports, just as on loan driver.
Yes. And I definitely think he's one to watch in both series this weekend, even though it is his debut. He's done very well with debuts. Now, another thing to watch this weekend is Jack Quaid. He's the star of Paramount Pictures' new high-octane thriller, Novocaine. He's going to serve as the Grand Marshal for the NASCAR Cup Series EchoPark Automotive Grand Prix at Circuit of the Americas on Sunday, March the 2nd. And for the 4th year, Speedway Charities is the official charity of Speedway Motorsports, will encourage race fans to make a difference in the lives of Austin area children while providing some fun ways to enjoy the February 28th to March 2nd weekend at Circuit of the Americas. So there's 4 ways that fans attending the race at COTA and those watching from home can benefit those children in need in the Austin, Texas community. There's the Lap for Charity on Friday, February the 28th. That actually took place this morning from 8 to 10 a.m. They have the live auction on Saturday, March 1st from 4:30 to 5 p.m. And then donations for fan assistance golf cart rides will take place both Saturday and Sunday, March 1st and 2nd. And then online donations, especially for those of us that will be watching from home, that can take place anytime at the website, donate@speedwaycharities.org/donate. So we really encourage fans to take part in that. We mentioned that on the Xfinity preview as well. So Jay, did you have anything more that you wanted to mention here before we do our sign-offs?
No, I look forward to the weekend. I know we talked about this in the Xfinity series of really tough to pick a winner. I mean, we give a lot of good stats on certain drivers, but honestly, I think both series have a 10 to 12, 20 drivers that, I mean, really, I think have a shot. We'll see how it plays out. The new configuration, obviously going to play out a little different. Different drivers talking about that, whether it benefited them or not. I think it's a benefit to the fans, as I mentioned during the Xfinity preview. Going to be in front of the fans at the track a little bit more by eliminating that 1 mile. I think it's a 1 mile and 3 turns off on the end. So those that are in the grandstand areas get to see them a little bit more. Shorter time under caution. I know that was a big thing for fans. And I say that of NASCAR listens, that, you know, they hear what the fans are concerned about or not happy with. And they do make some changes like this one to try and accommodate that. So appreciate NASCAR looking into that and making this choice. We'll see how it plays out this weekend.
Yes, indeed. And I want to encourage everybody to watch for more coming here on Pampa Racing Radio as well. We've got both the Xfinity and Cup Series previews this weekend. I'm going to do a little piece on just some updates about the Truck Series. They are not racing this weekend. Their next race won't be until Friday, March the 14th. So they've got a couple of weeks off here. But on Monday, last Monday, we did our first live stream with Hot Topics Sound Off. We'll be back this Monday for another live stream of Hot Topics at 9 p.m. That's Central Time. I want to make sure I clarify that. It'll be 10 p.m. Eastern when we come on live for our stream of Hot Topics Sound Off. We're going to have previews, reviews, and interviews. I know Sal's working on some interviews this weekend, so watch for those to come up at some point this week as well. And then also, if you like what we are doing, please be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Like the episode, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified when new episodes come out, then you'll want to hit the notify button so that you can get that information. And Jay, before I go to the thank you, you're going to be somewhere this weekend?
I am going to be all over the place this weekend, actually. Looking to go to a hockey game in Birmingham tonight with my son. Tomorrow night, as you can see, I got my official shirt on here. Jackson Motor Speedway kicking off the race season, so your Capital City Raceway will be in action. And then Sunday, I'm going to jet down to Mobile for a Christian music festival, Winter Jam. I'm going to go with the buddy Jared to that, and then come back, and I'll be here, as you mentioned, Monday night for our Hot Topics review. So putting on some serious miles this weekend.
Well, I'm not going to be putting a lot of miles on, a few, but not a lot. I'm going to be watching the race, the Xfinity Series race on Saturday for sure. The Cup race I'm going to have to watch on replay. I do have it pre-recorded already, set for pre-record already. And Sunday, my brother and I are going to watch the Bradley basketball game. So definitely looking forward to that. But I'm coming home right afterwards to watch the Cup Series race. So, and then, so I'm watching for Sal to send me his interviews, because he's hoping to do some interviews at the racetrack this weekend. So the Cars Tour is racing this weekend, and he's going to try to get some interviews in that we can put up here at Fan for Racing Radio. So watch for those as well. So we want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in to Fan for Racing Radio. We appreciate everybody taking the time to listen to what we have to say, because we have a lot of fun sharing our previews, reviews, and hot topics along with those interviews. So again, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys on the other side when we do our reviews of the weekend. Take care, everybody.
Enjoy the weekend.